I get asked this all the time. What should actually be on my LinkedIn profile? And this is not what should I post every day, not how do I go viral, not how do I beat the algorithm, just the basic practical question of what should be on there so that when someone checks me out, they can actually understand who I am, what I do, who I help, and whether I look credible. And this has become much more important in B2B because if you are connecting with people on LinkedIn, sending messages, following up after meetings, doing outreach, speaking at events, building partnerships, or trying to just open doors with potential clients, your profile is often the first proper check someone does. They may get an email from you, they may get see your name in a proposal, or they might even be introduced to you by someone else. They might even see that you have viewed their profile at some point. They might get a connection request from you, or before they respond, there's a good chance they will click on your LinkedIn profile to check you out. That matters even more now because getting attention through email is harder than it used to be. Inboxes are more protected, spam filters are stronger, and in B2B, you cannot just rely on sending more emails, more follow ups, and more cold messages. People are checking out the person behind that message. And when they land on your profile, they are making a really fast judgment. Do I understand what this person does? Do they actually look credible? Does their business look real? Is it updated regularly? Are they connecting to a proper company page? Can they actually see proof of what you've done before, and can they see what and get what they want to know? Accessing their website, is it easy? Do they look like someone worth even replying to? That is the role of your LinkedIn profile. It is not just an online CV. It is not just somewhere you list your old jobs. And it is definitely not just something you update when you're looking for work. If you're a founder, a CEO, MD, director, or consultant, advisor, senior person in a business, your LinkedIn profile is part of your sales process. It's part of your referral process and your credibility process. People may not tell you that they have looked at your LinkedIn, but they often have. And in that moment, your profile is either making the next step much easier or it will start to create doubt for them. So this is not about vanity. It is about trying to look, and it's not trying to look impressive for the sake of it. It's about reducing friction. If someone is considering replying to you, referring you, meeting you, or shortlisting you, or recommending you internally, your LinkedIn profile needs to help them feel more confident, not less. That is why the basics are so important. Your photo, your banner, your headline, your about section, your links, your featured section, your recommendations, your current role, and your company page all need to work together. Because if your outreach says one thing and your profile file says another, and your company page is half empty and your website is hard to find, you're making the buyer work far too hard. And in B2B, when people are busy, cautious, and already overwhelmed, confusion is enough to stop any kind of momentum. So let's walk through what your LinkedIn profile should actually have on it. And the first thing I'm going to say is start with your LinkedIn profile picture. And this is basic, but it really matters. Use a clear current photo where people can actually see your face. And it does not need to be a big studio headshot, but it should look like how you look now. Not a picture from 12 years ago, and not a photo where someone else has been cropped out. Not something so dark or far away that people would not recognize you if they met you at an event. The simple test is this. If someone met you next week, would they know it was you from your LinkedIn photo? If they couldn't tell you, it's probably time to update it. Then look at your banner. Your banner is one of the most wasted places on LinkedIn. A lot of people either leave it blank, use a vague stock image, or put a logo there with no real message. But your banner is one of the first things people see, so it should help them understand where they have landed. A bit like your homepage of your website. It should answer one of three things. Who do you help? What do you help them with? And what do you want to be known for? So if you run a cybersecurity business, your banner might say something along the lines of cybersecurity training and risk reduction for growing businesses. If you run a renewables company, it might say something along the lines of battery energy storage and renewable energy solutions for commercial sites. If you are in manufacturing, for example, it might say something like precision engineering components for aerospace and advanced manufacturing, or helping food manufacturers improve production efficiency and reduce downtime. The point is not to write an essay on the banner. It is to give people an immediate clue about who you are and what you do. A logo on its own is not enough. A vague image of a city skyline is not enough. A laptop and a coffee cup is not enough. Use that space to say what you do in your words that your buyer would actually understand. Next is your headline, and this has got to be one of the most important parts of your profile because it follows you around LinkedIn. It appears when you comment, when you show up in search, when someone sees you post, and when someone lands on your profile. The mistake most people make is that they only put their job title in that space. Founder at ABC Limited, managing director, or consultant. Technically, that is true, but it does not do enough, and you're not giving enough of yourself. Your headline should say what you do in a way that is useful to the person looking at it. So instead of manufacturing managing director at Greenvolt Solutions, you might say something along the lines of battery energy storage and renewable energy solutions for commercial and industrial sites. Instead of founder at Secure North, you might say something like cybersecurity training and compliance support for SMEs and regulated businesses. Instead of something like operations director at Precision Fab Limited, you would put something like manufacturing leader helping clients source precision components for complex engineering projects. That is much more useful because it gives people context. It tells them who you are and what you do. You can still include your title, but do not make the title do all your work. Your buyer needs to understand why you're relevant. And if you've won awards, make sure you put those in there. A quick one around keywords as well, because they do matter on LinkedIn. Not in the sense that you should repeat the same phrase over and over again, but LinkedIn still needs to understand what you do, and so do the people landing on your profile. This is where a lot of businesses get caught out. They use clever straplines or broad phrases that sound good, but they do not actually say what your business does. And therefore, it makes you difficult to find and search for. So if you're a cybersecurity business, helping businesses become more secure is too obscure, and it's fine, but it doesn't tell LinkedIn or the person searching whether you provide cybersecurity training or awareness phishing or simulation or ISO 27000 support or compliance advice or incident response. The same applies in other sectors. If you're in renewables, say battery energy storage or commercial, solar, for example, or EV charging or energy resilience, if that is what you do, make sure you have that on your profile. In manufacturing, say something like precision engineering, CNC manufacturing, fabrication, or component manufacturing, if that is what you want to be found for. So yes, have a strong strapline if you want one, but do not let the strapline replace good old plain English. Your profile needs to say what you actually do, who you do it for, and the specific services, products, or areas of expertise that you want to be found for. Then there is the About section. This is where people often go into a full biography, and it's basically a copy and paste of their CV. They start with something like, I am a passionate and experienced professional with over 20 years experience across multiple sectors, and it does not really tell the reader anything useful that's going to help them make a decision. The About section should not start with your life story. It should start with the world of the person you help. What problem do they have? What situation are they in? What are they trying to improve, reduce, fix, avoid, or achieve? Then you explain how you help. So for a cybersecurity business, the About section might open with something like, most growing businesses know cybersecurity matters, but they often struggle to turn that concern into practical action across the team. We help SMEs and regulated organisations reduce human risk through CLARE practical cybersecurity training and support. CLARE, practical English. For a renewables business, it might say something like, commercial energy costs, resilience and sustainability are now board level issues. We help businesses explore battery energy storage and renewable energy solutions that support long-term energy efficiency, reliability and carbon reduction. For a manufacturer, it might say something like, we work with engineering and manufacturing teams that need reliable, high quality components, clear communication, and suppliers who understand the pressure of deadlines, quality standards, and production schedules. That is already much stronger than a generic biography because it speaks already to your buyer's situation. A good About Us section should cover 5 key things: who you help, what problem you help with, what services or products you provide, why you are credible, and what someone should do next. So a next step for them. You do not need to make it complicated, just make it really super clear in plain English. Then think about your links. Your LinkedIn profile should not be a dead end. If someone else is interested, where do you want them to go? So what's that call to action you want them to take? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to go to a specific company page, to a service page, to a case study, to a booking link? Do you want to offer a free consultancy or a lead magnet? Where is it that you want them to go? Are you going to be able to provide them with a useful guide or some useful extra information? Think about what would actually help the buyer take that next step and think about giving value. And if you're a cybersecurity firm, you may link to a cyber risk assessment, a training page, or a guide in how to reduce human error. If you're in renewables, maybe you link to your battery energy storage page, a commercial energy consultation page, or a project example. If you're in manufacturing, maybe you link to capabilities, accreditations, quality standards, sector served, or a case study. The main point is this: your profile should not be a dead end. It should move people somewhere useful. Then there is the featured section. This is one of the best parts of a LinkedIn profile and one of the most underused by many business leaders that I see. And think of a featured section as the evidence shelf. This is where you put the things you want people to see first. Not random old posts, not a company brochure from 2018, not a link you forgot was actually there and is actually now the link has gone out of date. You want 3 to 5 useful things. One piece that shows you thinking, one piece that shows proof, one piece that explains what you offer, one piece that actually helps someone take the next step. For a cybersecurity business, that could be a guide on what SMEs should include in staff cyber training, a case study about reducing phishing risk, a link to a services page, and a strong post about why cyber awareness training fails when it is treated as a tick box exercise. For a renewables business, it could be a battery energy storage explainer, a project example, a post about common mistakes in commercial energy planning, and a link to book a site conversation. For a manufacturer, it could be a capabilities brochure, a quality certification, a case study, a video from the production floor, or a post explaining how you manage quality, deadlines, or supply chain challenges. The featured section should answer, can this person or company help me? Do they know what they are talking about? Do they have proof? What's the proof that they've done this before? Where do I go next if I want to find out more information? Then look at your experience section, because this is where your personal profile should connect properly to your company. If you're the founder, MD, or director of a company, your current role should be linked to the actual company page. You want the company logo showing beside your role, not just plain text. That makes your profile look more complete and gives people an easy route through to the business. And in the role description, do not just repeat your job title. Use that space to explain what the business does. So, for example, a founder of a cybersecurity training company helping SMEs reduce human risk, improve staff awareness, and meet compliance requirements through practical scenario-based training. Or managing director of a renewables business delivering battery energy storage and commercial energy solutions for businesses looking to improve resilience, reduce costs, and support sustainability goals. Or director of a precision manufacturing company supplying high quality engineered components to clients in aerospace, automotive, and industrial sectors. Again, it is not just about making it long, it is about making it incredibly useful. Now let's talk about your recommendation section. Recommendations are different from your skills endorsements. Skills endorsements are fine, but they are very light. Recommendations carry much more weight because they are written proof from real people, so from your customers or people you've worked with in the past, but they do need to be specific. A weak recommendation says, great to work with, highly recommend, that is nice, but it does not tell a future buyer very much. A much stronger recommendation says what the problem was, what you helped them with, and what changed as a result. For a cybersecurity business, a good recommendation might well be something like that they mention the training, how the training made the staff more confident, improved their awareness, or helped the leadership team understand risk much more effectively. For a renewables business, it might mention that you help the client understand things like their options, how to assess a commercial case, or manage a complex installation properly. For a manufacturer, it might mention something like reliability and quality and communication, turnaround times, or the ability to solve a difficult production issue. So when you ask for a recommendation, do not just say, can you write one for me? Write it for them. Give them some prompts. What problem did we help you with? What was useful about the process? What changed afterwards? What would you say to another person considering working with us? Because that really helps, and make sure you can get stats about how you improved. Did you improve efficiency by 15%? Did it save on costs? Then if we look at the skills and services, make sure your skills are on your profile, match what you want to be known for right now. A lot of people have skills from old roles that are not really relevant anymore. If you now want to be known for cyber risk, ISO compliance, battery storage, renewable energy, or precision manufacturing, or export support, and you want to be known for any of these things, or leadership development, make sure your profile reflects that. Do not list everything you have ever done. Just list the things you actively want to be found and known for and trusted for right now. And remember that your activity matters too. Your profile is not only the static information at the top. People can see your recent posts, your comments, and activity. So if your profile says you're a serious voice in your sector, but your activity is silent, random, or full of bland comments that weakens the overall picture, you do not need to post every day. But you do need to look alive. And a post from 3 months ago isn't quite going to cut it. Make sure you comment on posts, share your insight into your sector, talk about problems that buyers are actually talking about. If you're in cyber, talk about the everyday risks businesses underestimate. If you're in renewables, talk about energy resilience, commercial decision making, talk about, storage, grid constraints, or common misunderstandings. If you're in manufacturing, talk about quality, lead times, supplier relationships, skills, automation, procurement, or production challenges. This is not about becoming a content creator. It is about showing that you understand your market. Now, the company page matters as well. Your personal profile is usually where trust is built, especially in SMEs, because people want to see the person behind the business. People buy from people. But the company page still needs to do its job because it gives the business a proper home on LinkedIn. It lets employees link to it. It gives prospects another place to check you out, and it makes the business look much more complete. So your company page should have the basics in place. The logo should be clear from the outset. The banner should explain what the company does, and that needs to be clear like your personal profile. The tagline should be plain English. The about section should say who you help, what you do, what problems you solve, and why people should trust you. The website link should be correct and up to date. The call to action button should be set up if you have that option. And if services are relevant to your business, make sure you add them. For a cybersecurity company, the page should make it obvious whether you're providing cyber awareness training, penetration testing, compliance support, managed security, incident responses, or something else. For a renewables company, it should make it really obvious whether you provide battery energy storage, solar, EV charging, commercial energy, consultancy, installation, or a maintenance project. For a manufacturer, it should make it really obvious what you make, what sectors you serve, what standards you work to, and what sort of projects or volumes you can handle. The company page should also have some proof on there. That could be case studies, project photos, certifications, client sectors, testimonials, press, awards, accreditations, or useful posts that show your expertise. It does not need to be busy every day, but it shouldn't look abandoned. The personal profile and company page should feel connected, so look and feel should be similar. Same message, same visual world, absolutely the same services, same website, same idea of who you help. And because if your personal profile says one thing, and your company page says another, and your website says something else again, you then start to create doubt in the mind of the buyer. And doubt slows people down. So here is the way I would think about it. When someone lands on your LinkedIn profile, they should not have to work hard to find out who you are and what you do and what the proof points are. They should be able to see who you are, what you do, who you help, what your business offers, whether you're credible, and where to go next. That is the job of the profile, not to impress everyone, not to tell your whole career story, not to collect every possible achievement that you've ever had. It's just to reduce doubt and make the next step much easier. So before you worry about posting more, fix the thing people land on when your posts, comments, emails, referrals, or introductions get their attention. Because the reality is your LinkedIn profile will not close the deal on its own, but it can absolutely help someone decide whether you are worth replying to. And in B2B, that first reply, that accepted connection, that warm referral, or that next conversation is often where the opportunity actually starts. And that's all for this week. And thank you again for listening. And if you like the content that you heard today, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe.